What's good, beautiful people? Welcome to Guerrilla Tactics, the only place where you commit guerrilla warfare to make change. Now, beautiful people, I thank you guys so much for tuning in once again to Guerrilla Tactics. I thank you so much for all the support and the love that you guys been showing me. I thank you so much for the last video as well, the masquerade. Now, that was a deep conversation about who we are and what we plan to be. But you know what, though? What we don't realize is that in order for you to be exactly who you want to be and build yourself into becoming the person that you want to be in your life and fulfilling what it is that you were meant to fulfill, that starts with a dream. So we're going to definitely get into that. But before we do, once again, I'm going to show y'all another one of the threads. Thread to society. Boom. The king. Boom. It's another one of the masks that was created by Aaron, my stepbrother. Boom. Brother-in-law. Definitely tune in to his Instagram page right over here. The whole 9. He's definitely got a lot of masks that he's building up. He got a lot going on with his brand. You guys definitely got to tune in and be ready for it. All right. Now, before we get into anything else, I got to tell you guys, have you ever had a journal? A journal, a diary, something that you gave all your deepest, darkest secrets into. Talked about the greatest of pains and the joys of joys. Put all your emotion, all your feelings into. You ever had that? A journal that holds all your dreams, all your aspirations, your thoughts. Well, if you haven't, you probably should have had one. And the crazy part about it is that males back in the day, we used to get shined. People used to laugh at us. You know what I'm saying? If we had a journal or a diary per se, you know what I mean? Because we were planted to be strong, powerful. We don't cry, the whole 9. So there's be no reason for us to be having no journal. But what I've been talking about in the last a couple different videos that I've been that I have already posted up to you guys already, we've been talking about motivation. We've been talking about dreams. We've been talking about your aspirations and what you want to fulfill. But in order for you to build that, you have to have a conversation with yourself. You have to talk to yourself sometimes. Sometimes you got to really understand what it is that you want and what it is that you need. But in order to do that, you have to sometimes write it out. Sometimes draw it. Create it. You know what I'm saying? What we have to understand is that when God gave us the world, he gave us the ability to create in many forms. He told Adam that he could name anything that was around inside the garden and some, which hence giving man authority over the world and its land and naming this and naming that and creating our own societies and so on and so forth. He gave women the ability to create life itself, hence creating different personalities, different individuals, different beings, different perspectives and understandings and decision makings and the whole 9. All that came from what? A thought, a dream, an aspiration. But that aspiration comes from who? From God. That's the Holy Spirit that he placed inside of us, that gives us that inspiration that we need in order to push forward. So you have to understand that in order for you to take off a mask, to find who you truly are, you have to write your own journal and map out your own future. Yeah. Life just moves on. All right. What up, beautiful people? Let's get into the topic. Now, the name of this topic is called the Dream Journal. And yes, y'all can laugh at me if you want to. Go ahead. I got you. But it's the truth. It's kind of like Sharkborn Lava Girl. You had this little kid. He had all these dreams and these aspirations of what he wanted to become, what he wanted to do, the whole 9. And the thing is, though, is that the world made it seem like all that was just a fantasy and that there was a reality. And in our reality, everything that he was dreaming was non-existent. not plausible, invalid, the whole nine. And individuals will laugh at him, talk about him, say that he didn't know what he was talking about, what he was doing, nothing. The whole nine. But in reality, he actually was further in his intellect than even the adults that were around him inside that movie. Because in order for us to be what it is that we're meant to be, we have to stop and look at ourselves, not just in a first person view, but in a third person view. Look at yourself a moment. Sometimes you could be doing something that's harmful to others and never realize it. Sometimes you could be doing something that bursts inspiration to other individuals and never realize it. But it all starts from your dreams. And a lot of times, though, one of the things that we lack as individuals is that personable conversation with each other, with ourselves. See what I'm saying? Having that personal conversation with yourself and talking to yourself about how you truly feel and why and what it is you need and why you need it. What do you want to become? What are your dreams, your aspirations, the whole nine. We do not talk to ourselves and have that conversation, that deep conversation with ourselves. So when we start to walk in life, we don't know where we're going to go. And the crazy part about it was when he started to lose his faith, he lost his journal. And it was stolen by the bully because he started to lose faith in his dreams. And the crazy part about it is, as he started to lose faith in his dreams, the ones that looked up to him the most, that he never realized looked up to him, appeared before him. Shark Boy and Lava Girl appeared before him, and they needed his help this time. As they needed him to be the hero. And they saw him as this huge, great person, but he didn't see that in himself. And because he couldn't find value in who he was, there was no value in anything he was doing. And he had to find value in him first. Now, I want to talk about a specific thing in the movie, the Dream Junkyard. He had created a robot called Gogar, I think, something like that. And it was supposed to be the first created intelligence that would do his homework. Now, that's mind-blowing, because in hindsight, you would think it's just kids being kids. But if you really stop to think about it, he wanted to create an artificial intelligence that can do his homework. As adults, we thawing at that right now. Like, we're like, whoa, that if we can create an artificial intelligence, we can create a life form that'll be able to do things for us as humans would do it. Then we can then create a source that is able to create these life forms, and maybe we could do more with even ourselves. We talk about that now. But when kids was talking about it, oh, that's so cute. Look, he wants to create a robot. No, he had something so much more in tune, so much more in his mind that wasn't being paid attention to because he was a kid. You know what I'm saying? And that's sad, because sometimes the most intuitive minds are the ones that we look over and we turn our blind eye to. Why? It's because we think that they're insane, they're just kids, and they don't know what they're talking about. And so we keep on turning away from them, when in reality, they actually closer to finding the truth to life than we are. Now, I had a conversation with this customer one time. This was some time back. I think it was like 2-3 weeks before last week. And we had a conversation about understanding that the natures of energy and your spirituality and so on and so forth. And the way we categorized it, we talked about it, was like touching the moon. Where we are right now, everybody is right now, is we could look at the moon. But we never will understand what it means to touch it. Okay? Now, the person that landed on the moon, supposedly, that landed on the moon, if you think about it, he's in a whole different existence than what we are. It's like a whole nother plane. It's not in the same level. So it's not like one of those situations where you're at one level and then you jump to the next level and the person that's below your level could get to your level easy. No. It's actually extremely hard. And a lot of times, the reason why we can't reach those levels is because we've created blocks in here. Hence, throwing out our dreams and throwing them in the dream journal, in the dream graveyard. You get it? We need our own personal journal where we can really talk out what we feel with nobody around us to judge us, to put us in no place, but just having that personal conversation with ourselves in order to understand what we want to be and what we want to build and create. You see what I'm saying? Because our dreams aren't lost until we walk away from them. Any dream can be created into something beautiful, but you have to find value in yourself first, and then you will find value in your dream. You see what I'm saying? Now, my fiance is a good example of that. When I first met her, she was doing everything but her dreams. Like she just wanted to work, find a good job, be something great. And she is, baby, you're so beautiful, you're so amazing. Just wanted to tell you that you're beyond great. Before I continue, I gotta give a shout out to my beautiful baby for getting monetized and finally making it over that hurdle. Baby, I'm trying to be just like you. I swear I am. You're doing a great job. I'm proud of you. I believe in you. I'm so proud on where your dream is finally reaching. And I had to do that before I continued to talk about it, because she wasn't fighting for her dream in the beginning. But when she started to fight for her dream, oh my gosh, she reached heights that she never even thought she could touch. But she had to find value in that first and find value in herself. And she had value in herself. She loved herself. But she also had to find, once you find value in you, you have to then now believe in yourself to fulfill what it is that you need. She just didn't know the keys or what steps to take. But when she finally found the right form to help her, she was able to now create her own business and create her whole own entity, and her own universe within her own self, and create it into reality. That's a beautiful thing. But in order for you to do that, you have to find your own personal formula. That formula that's going to put you in place in order to make your dream come true. You see what I'm saying? All of us have our own personal formula. See, for me, guerrilla tactics, I told y'all in another video, originally guerrilla tactics wasn't going to be this. It was going to be a gaming platform. But I never followed through with that. Now, let's go even further than that. I had a program I wanted to start. So I had a missionary. I had my own mission statement, or my own missionary that I was supposed to fulfill. I didn't feel like I was the one adequate to do it, so I walked away. God knew that I was adequate. He knew that I was the one meant for it. So what happened was he let me walk away so I could find value in me and find my ability to stand up. Then when I came back to finally being able to realize what I can do, and I'm ready to harness that power and use it for the right values and for good. Boom. Guerrilla tactics. Boom. The only place you create guerrilla warfare to make change. Boom. That's a topic. Boom. See how it all worked out? But I had to find me first. But in order to find me, I had to go back to where my dream lied. You see what I'm saying? I walked away from my dream because I didn't think I was the one that could do it. I had to come back to it. And when I did, I had all the pieces in place. See what I'm saying? Same thing with my baby. She just didn't have the right tools at the time. When she already knew her value, so she kept pushing on her value, but she kept researching. Every once in a while, that inkling hit inside that brain where it was like, yo, that's my dream. I really want to do this. I really want to do that. Let me research this. Let me research that. And she did that, and boom. Next thing you know, she found everything that she ever wanted to do, and she's reaching heights in her dream that she probably never thought originally she can get to. You see what I'm saying? But she had to find that value. But in order to find that value, she had to have that personal talk with herself in order to find that value. You see what I'm saying? So you can reach your dreams, but you got to first find that personal understanding of who you are. And in order for you to do that, you have to have your dream journal. Your dream journal is where you could put your thought processes and organize them and put them into the right place so that you can make sense to everything. Once you have made sense to everything, you can now create the pieces in order to make it happen. You see what I'm saying? And it was crazy because even with Lava Girl inside the movie, she didn't realize what she truly was. She thought she was just pure destruction. So every time she walked or she did anything, it was like everything was exploding and just blowing up or burning, and she couldn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until towards the end where she realized that fire or lava wasn't just, her abilities wasn't just to cause destruction or to melt things down and to burn things. It was to create light so that people can see. And she had it in her the whole entire time. She just couldn't see that value in herself. She had to find that in herself first. And it wasn't until she went through her hardships. And that's where God, I got to talk about God. That's my first and my everything. Thank you, God, for everything. I couldn't have been able to do none of this without you. That's where God comes in. You see what I'm saying? Because we don't see what he sees. Only he sees that. But what he does is he allows us to suffer and go through our pains and go through our problems and go through our trials and our tribulations. And what happens when we go through each trial and tribulation? It gears us for the strength and the equipment in order to do what it is that we really want to do. But you couldn't do that without God. And you couldn't do that without going through your trials and tribulations. But in order for you to get through your trials and tribulations in those hardest times, and it's funny because I don't think that people really realize it. When you're going through your hardest times, that's when you're ready to talk to yourself. That's when you're ready to have that conversation. I don't think we even realize it. We just be venting, but we don't realize we talking to ourselves. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I don't like. Why am I feeling like this? And why can't I be this? And then as you continue to engage yourself with those conversations and those thought process, you find yourself now reaching towards that understanding of who you are. Once you can understand who you are, which first, like therapists say this all the time, the first map to recovery is what? Acceptance. So you have to first accept your flaw. You have to understand that you have this flaw. This is what's going on with you, and you are the problem. Nothing else is the problem. No other person, no other thing. You are. Another person cannot force you to do anything that you don't want to do or make you do anything that's not beneficial for you. You can choose that no matter what. That's up to you. That's up to what you want to do and what you want to fulfill. You know what I'm saying? Even as a kid, I thought that I had to follow this, I had to follow that, because this is the way that my foster mother at the time saw it. So I kept on, every opportunity I had, kept walking away from it. For what? But then I finally realized, now that I'm older and I'm starting to understand more and I'm gaining more knowledge and more wisdom, that the whole entire time, those things weren't meant for me. And they weren't meant for me because I wouldn't fight for them. See how crazy that is? So in those times when you thought you could have been this, or you could have done this, or you could have done that, the reason why that was that you didn't do it or you didn't make it because you walked away from it. But the thing is, don't fret. Don't fret. That's not always bad. You walked away from it for a reason, because it wasn't meant for you. What was really meant for you is somewhere down the line, but you have to first realize yourself. Once you find out who you are, once you finally look at the things that make you, that are flawed, then you can start to understand what it is that you need to build, what it is that you want to create and what you want to be. But you have to accept the harsh truth. And the harsh truth is that you are the problem. That's in a relationship. That's in your everyday life. That's in school. That's in your job. No matter where you go, you are the reason for everything that goes on in your path. You're the only one who has control over what you do. You could choose to fight with your partner and lose them forever. Or you could choose to work it out the right way with some common sense and as an adult. Your choice. That's the harsh reality. Let's keep it real. But in order for you to reach your dreams, you got to have your dream journal. Your dream journal is what's important because that's your raw thoughts. If you can't accept your raw thoughts and you can't accept the raw pieces of yourself, no one's going to accept you. They can only accept you when you accept yourself first. And in order for you to accept yourself, you got to have that talk, that conversation. So beautiful people, this is just a short conversation that I wanted to have with you guys about this topic. It's called the Dream Journal. We all need to have our own journal. Talk to yourself. Have a conversation. There's nothing wrong with that. Because you might understand things about yourself that you never thought was there. And be open to somebody else telling you that sometimes you might be the flaw. You might be the problem. And you have to understand that you are the problem 100% of the time. See what I'm saying? Whereas you are the problem in your own life, that other individual's the problem in theirs. So whereas y'all sitting there bickering and fighting, and where you're sitting there yelling at somebody saying, I'm not the one for it, I can't be the one for it, I'm not worth it, and all this other extra stuff, you became the problem in your own life. You stepped in your own way. And that's why you're going through the things that you're going through. Whereas that person who decided to fight at you and come at you and do all that, they just stepped in their own way just now. Because now you're mad, you're pissed off, don't want to talk to that person, whether it's a friend or a lover. You don't want to talk to that person, and now they lost you forever because you were inside this deep, dark, deep place that person would never understand because that's only something that you can face. That's the reality of it. The reality of it, and this is definitely in relationships. You can love your partner with everything you have, but you cannot always save them. They can only save themselves. Now, you could be a support to be there when they're stumbling and they're getting ready to fall and letting them know that you're still there for them, but you cannot save them. They can only save themselves. That's period. We cannot save nobody. That's God and that individual's choice. But you can't support them. You can love them enough to let them see value in themselves. You know what I'm saying? Or at least let them know that you see value in them. That's important. So instead of bickering and fighting with them because you don't understand, try to understand. And if you can't understand, just listen. Because maybe them talking to you is what they needed. And that's funny. And I want to say this before I wrap this up. I was watching Flash. And I do reruns. I watch things over. I'm not even going to lie to you. But the girl that liked it, Barry, that was also a cop that was in the investigation bureau with him. She didn't know Barry was the Flash at the time, and she just started spilling it all out to Flash about how she feel like the relationship she was in is not even real, and that everything that she's been ever gearing to is to get revenge for her father and so on and so forth, and she just can't live her life the whole nine. And she was telling this to Barry and didn't know it. And she said, yo, I don't even know why I'm telling you all this. And he said something that's 100% true. Sometimes it's easier for us to talk to a face that isn't there or that is not familiar because it's less biased. We don't feel like we're going to be judged. We feel like that person's going to be in the middle, in that in between. They're gonna definitely be objective to the situation. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes us as individuals, when we're so close to somebody, we push too hard, and we push ourselves in too close to the point where that person don't want to be around us and don't want to talk to us. So in order for you to help somebody that's going through some really deep stuff that you cannot understand, just listen. Even if you don't get it, just listen. Sometimes they don't even want to hear you try to give them advice. Just listen. I beg you, just listen. Because they're struggling to write in their own journal. And sometimes they need somebody to use their hand to write for them. That's all it is. So beautiful people, I thank you so much for tuning into this video. I thank you so much for all your support. Once again, this video was called The Dream Journal, and we need to have our own journal so we can have a personal conversation with ourselves, so we can realize who we are, so that we can fulfill our final destination somewhere down the line. Because in order for us to see that, we have to see ourselves first. So thank you so much, beautiful people, for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment to these videos, and most importantly, hit that notification bell so you can get more updates on more content and get more bangers. And beautiful people, thank you so much for all your love. I thank you for all that you guys do. Please check out my Instagram, moonvargas48. Please check out my Patreon. Please check out my TikTok. Please get on everything that I'm boarding in with. And beautiful people, once again, check out Threads to Society. Right on Instagram as well. I'm going to put it right up here so that you guys can get in tune to more masks like this and the last one I showed in the last video. So thank you so much. And beautiful people, always know that you can reach every dream that you ever wanted to reach. But in order for you to get there, you have to first look at yourself and look at your flaws and tell yourself that you're beautiful even through your flaws. I love you all and thank you so much. And God bless. Yeah. Life just moves on. All right. Yeah. 3, 2. The beginning of the secrets to the life that you needed. Looking in my own eyes, knowing I couldn't defeat it. All the feelings of